Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode of our Langrisser mobile series. And I have to say, I am very happy with my luck. Even though our pull rate was 1.6%, thank you Willy Hendricks, it also meant that we got lucky by getting one of each. So we got only 2 SSRs, but they are the only 2 that we needed. So, just like last time, the video of Estelle and Joshua was very appreciated because I don't know everything about the characters, and what I try to explain is how would I interpret the data that I can read from their talents and from their builds and form my own conclusions, right? So, of course, there is a solve puzzle, if you want, from the Chinese players that we could just take over and continue with that, but I want to understand the characters on a deeper basis as a player, and as you all would also examine your own units when you get them, so that we understand better what they can do and how they do it. For example, I had no idea that he had this ability. Let's begin with Leonhardt. Now, it is important that Leonhardt has the most random allegiances that exist in the game. Origins of Light are very much opposed to the Empire's Honor, but we're still okay with him choosing whomever friends he wants. So, again, he is Origins, he is Empire's Honor, and he is a Hero of Time. Hero's Time is probably his best faction buff, if you consider that in here he can only get the more you move, the better your damage. If you counter the opponent, you deal more damage. And in Origins of Light, I think the Arte is if you have a lot of buffs, you deal more damage. However, for Trials of Time, the faction buff from Joshua is if you have this faction buff, your AoE deal 20% more damage. That is basically having a stronger magic enchant. So again, I don't know if this is the solution, but maybe enchanting Leonhardt with magic is the way to go. I have no idea. But I think it's crazy that there's such possibilities in the game. Alright. Asura Sword is the talent. When there are no allies within 3 blocks, that's brutal. All attributes are increased by 10% except HP. Okay, that is fine. If you deal damage with 2 or more enemies in one hit, so if you deal damage to 2 or more enemies in one hit, so the clause for 2 or more doesn't get better with stars, I know this for a fact, but I know that this one improves to 1 block. So at the end, basically he becomes a comet unit. Right, if you deal damage to 2 or more enemies in one hit, recovers 20% HP and can act 1 more time. Act again chance has 4 turns cooldown, and this is just like in Cherry. If you bring him to 4 stars, it becomes 3 turns. 6 stars, it becomes 2 turns. And at 2 turns, it gets pretty crazy because you can do this basically every other round. Now, before I move on to the classes, I want to explore the soldiers. Already we start with the possibility of using Dark Guard and I guess regular infantry. That makes no sense. But Dark Guard is one of their tier 3 possibilities. Let's see what else they can do. Tier 3. Guardian Cavalry. I guess this is a demon-looking person. When attacking, damage taken is reduced. This is not really useful. I think what I would want the most in a troop that accompanies Leonhardt is actually the most defensive thing. So, not Rock Golem, but the other Golem. I don't see the other Golem. Okay, so I know he has some spear classes, some spear units, so maybe we'll end up with those. When soldier HP is above 80%, damage taken is decreased by 15%. Okay, this could be one of the troops. So their HP is very decent, and he already starts with the boost to HP, attack, and magic defense. That's very interesting. So when soldier HP, damage taken is decreased. Actually, this seems like a really solid pick. I don't know yet. Let's see the others. Attack increased by 5% and damage received reduced by 5%. This is very, very generic. It has the bonuses that everyone else gets, just in reduced numbers. That's nice. When attacked and your soldier's HP is above 80%, defense increased by 15%. This is garbage. Royal Cavalry and Highlanders is usually what I see. I can imagine the same. I didn't get to Vanguard Lancers yet, but I can imagine that simply reducing damage is like having your own last rites equipped, right? That's just huge. When attacked and your soldier HP is above 10%, 30% chance to trigger hero's barb. Extremely random. Okay. It's a shame that Freya cannot use this, but what can you do? Okay. And finally, Vanguard, which is probably the way to go. you have to upgrade to Blade Lord, Edge Lord. When soldier HP is below 70%, attack increases by 15%. Okay, so I know that not all Leonhardts are packing AoE spells all day. I've seen some that use the Matthew ability, I don't remember the name, that has 2 range and they attack with that. So having someone that can counter attack like that is good. But I think personally I am absolutely gonna go for Royal Cavalry. Actually, it even tells me that I could... Oh, I could not. Royal Cavalry is hiding behind... Oh my god, my horses are such a bad shape. At least I have 7 million books. What is this garbage? Okay, here you can see that I have absolutely neglected my horses. So I'm sorry, Cavalry, I'll come back to you one day, but it is not this day, I think. Okay, I see one upgrade was even hiding behind silver. So what I'm gonna try to do now is to quickly unlock the Royal Cavalry to see how it feels. When attacking, cavalry damage taken decreased. That's cute. My god, I have dodged upgrading horses for so long that I guess now I'm being punished. And seeing how the gold started to go down, I was at like 6 million, 7 million. We'll have to farm gold again and be locked by gold. What do you mean that I need to start working in cavalry training ground? Is level 13 not good enough? Okay, so I wanted to unlock this in order to see how the increase goes. Ooh, that's 3% per increase. I'm gonna click on 1, 2, 3. And this one we can afford as well. And there we stop here. Okay, so at level 5, it's 27% damage reduction. That means 6 is 30, 7 is 33, 8 is 36, 9 is 39, and 10 is 42. That sounds a bit weird. It probably... Hey Pepsi, I have amazing news for you. I did. So you have joined us right at the time where we're exploring what Leonhardt can do. So I can already tell everyone, my Leonhardt is gonna be using the Royal Cavalry. The reason for this is because I want to use him as the AoE thing that everyone talks about, so I will be farming his shards and taking 10 million years. What is it, 250 days until we get to 6 stars by farming the Gate of Fate? I will do it, I don't care. Maybe it's 150 days, I think that makes more sense. And the reason why I want the Royal Cavalry is because soldier, when soldier HP, so when you're full HP or even a little bit below, the damage taken is decreased by 27%. Now, I don't know if this is only troop damage taken, but usually when it doesn't specify troop damage or hero damage, it means it's the unit's damage taken reduced. So I'm very happy about that. Alright, on to equipment. I know for a fact that he will get his own sword. In the sense that there is a new banner that will show up. I have no idea when, maybe next month. And it has a sword that says, hey, you know what, your AoE is cool, how about +1 range on all your AoEs? And yeah, that is exactly as crazy. Yep, exactly. That is as crazy as it sounds. However, I don't see myself pulling on a banner for a sword, especially because the chances are so crazy. I think it's 5% chance to pull, but you know what? I'd rather get more heroes. I'm now back to free to play basically. So I will be using Blood Sword Hunting because I know that for Bernhard it already works and it triggers fixed damage attacks. And as soon as the meta changes into using fixed damage immunity on all your units, I will just swap around into something different. Apparently it's next week if you follow CN events. That's crazy, Willy. Don't attack my heart like this. I don't think I'm ready for a banner like that. Alright, so on to the gear. I believe, just like for our friend Bernie, that I will be using carbon fiber. Comes out next week, but they go to Dragon after the banner leaves. I don't know, Guap. The rumor is that it takes 2 months. So, because I love Bernie, I use the same tactic. The idea is, as long as you're healthy, you're gonna have defense from carbon fiber, And as soon as you run low on HP, your attack and your skill go up by a lot, and that means it's time to unleash a double AoE combo and destroy everyone. So I am kinda counting on that. The fact that the cutoff is half HP is very good, because basically either in PvP you either get one shot or you get this, or you get taken below half HP. So it's the same as the last items. Great. Yes. That seems to be the chance. So I want to tell everyone, if you're free to play like me, or like Tiny Dolphin, if you want that you spend a little bit, do not pull on equipment. The equipment will eventually become available. I think there's only one banner that has never been made available, and that will come in the months in the future, so we'll see. Willy is telling me that Bloodsword will become useless. I think you mean because people shift to a meta where they use fixed damage immunity. Is this correct? Because I am interested in using it for the time being. I do not have a spare Soul Seal Guardian. What I may end up doing, if you say that this is the bad way to go... Wait, is this a thing? Ah, damn it, it's intelligence. That would have been funny. What I may end up doing is leveling up a blue star that I have somewhere at 20, at 30. So I have a blue star at 30. I could level it to max, give it to Leon, remove the sword from Leon, give it to our friend here, Leonhardt, and use that instead. So Willy, if you can tell me why you think it will become useless, I would be happy to know. Magic pendant, it's not what we want. Most likely what we want is something that gives us straight up attack. Sadly, I'm extremely unlucky with power level Leon. I don't know what that means, Dragon, but please let me know. Once the other sword comes out, yes, that makes sense. However, when the other sword comes out, I want to pass whatever is remaining of this sword to Bernie, because he deserves a nicer sword. Okay, so this is how I'm probably gonna equip my Leonhardt, and the most likely scenario is that he will end up with either a clock enchantment, a full moon enchantment, or my personal, I will confuse everyone, a magic enchantment. Because I want to show everyone, Bernie would be nice in both swords. Yep. So if you read magic is extremely misleading. It does not say at any point that it's for int only, right? So it says attack and int increased by 5%, and skill damage is increased by 10%, and AoE increased by an extra 5%. So just picture yourself, you have this person going AoE twice with Bloodsword Fronting. You deal 15% extra damage from on your AoE, so instead of like 0.3 it becomes a 0.5, and then you add on top your faction buff from Trials of Time, and bam, you end up with a crazy idea that is 2 times 0.7 attack. That is basically like hitting someone with Roar, right? So a Breeze enchant would be good on him too. I don't know, Breeze would let you get him to positions for the first AoE, but no matter what you do, the second AoE you always hit in the best position, right? I think that's how it's gonna go. However, I have not decided yet. This will take me weeks for sure until I'm done, especially because I barely finished my Zerida and now I started with Estelle. You're using Full Moon, but I heard magic is good. Yeah, I think magic is going to be the way for me. Okay, so we have now completed the class, soldiers and equipment. It's time to look at the skills. And what do we have here? Physical damage deals a very little damage AoE to all enemies within 1 block of yourself. In addition, reduces cooldowns of all skills by 1 turn. That is just crazy. Okay, so does it reduce the cooldown of this one? Is this actually 2 turns cooldown? That's also quite crazy. Listel is easy to build. Yeah, that's very true. Luckily for me, I'm also preparing a secondary darkness team because first of all, I love Zerida and I like Boswell too, and I got a Listel. It's just very low stars. So maybe our second PvP team will be darkness. Okay, so what else comes here? Air Slash, that's the name of Matthew's skill. Cooldown reduction build with him Okay, that makes sense. Air Slash is a very simple surprise trick that you can use to kill a melee unit, but other than that, it doesn't really fit on Leonhardt. I know people use it, but as I said, it's more of a surprise than anything. And then all of his classes are actually swordy, so there's no point where he drops this sword. It only changes graphics a little bit, and here he gets a cool scarf, because edgelords need scarves. There's no option here. A surprise mechanic. You have to unlock Joshua's second path just for Leonhardt the faction buff. Yeah, I think it's worth to do it. I do have a disclosure for anyone that is wondering. I like Trials so much that I'm gonna make that team work regardless of how actually top tier or god tier it is. Right? So I know Estelle is not the best character ever to exist, but I will make all the effort to make it work. Blade Lord Blade Lord looks better than Asura but has less attack. That is just sadness. Okay. So, on the one hand we get Air Slash. Then on the left side we get Detect. And when dealing damage. So I want everyone to remember Detect works on AoE. So if you have, for example, an annoying Bernhard or an annoying Bozel, if you hit them with an AoE and it lands Detect, they cannot do their tricks, right? So for example, PvP Bernie has parry in order to block for a friend nearby, and also has Rapture in order to deal more damage, maybe, or has Rapture. And then Bozel, for example, has Seal, so that his AoE is silencing. If you detect them, people usually miss this because there is no clear indicator that you have Detect, and they forget that they will no longer silence, they will no longer protect their friends. It's a kind of tricky hidden debuff. It's not really common to use, but there may be a time where using Detect makes sense. Also, it increases crit by 10, and we like that. So, what else is there? Instant Transfer. Active... what is this? Cooldown 3 rounds. Self-ranged spam single. Okay, so this is very selfish, but it exists. Active skill. Moves you to any block in range and gives you +1 mobility. That's very nice. Any block in range. What's the range? Spam single. I think it's like three tiles, right? Teleports behind you. Nothing personal, kid. Damage taken by units is reduced by 30%. Oh, by units? I guess it means by himself. And they gain the Blade's Breath buff. After actively entering battle, deals AoE damage to all enemies within 1 block. I see, so if you go for this option, you can take whatever hit from the enemy, and then when you punch them, you also AoE, which allows you to punch them again. So there is actually... so I guess it stacks with the cavalry unit. Yeah, it looks very possible. Also important to notice, if you use the cavalry unit, a Leon cannot destroy your Leon, I guess, easily. Bravepawn, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the channel. Dragon Nana, welcome to the channel. Thank you for the follow. Hey, I changed the order. Now it looks original. Okay, so there is a build, I am pretty sure, that goes instant transfer, single target, and that way you still trigger an AoE. All you have to make sure is that you're in a good position. This gives him another turn, and then you deal another single target attack, and I'm pretty sure that's also equally devastating, if that's the way you want to go. Ethereal Fire Machete. My god, these names. Thank you, translating team, for giving us gems like Ethereal Fire Machete. There's also the Phoenix Rising Knife of Doom. Attacks all enemies along a line. Cooldown 3, range 5. Okay, so range 5. Wait a minute. Joshua. This is range 6. Okay, not to confuse. Range 5 is the short one, it's the Estelle one. So please remember that when considering this AoE. What else does it do? Has a 25% chance of stunning the enemy less for 1 turn. Alright, so proof number 1 why Leonhardt is just stupid. There's a 25% chance that you destroy the enemy, especially if it's a healer or if it's anyone else that really had to act that turn. And especially because it's a line AoE, it allows you to get into position for a 2-piece attack from super far away, and then you go again. That's not a spray pound. Well, yes, you are absolutely correct. It is just brutal. Yes, I have nothing else to say. 25% chance. Is there anything we can compare it to? No, I don't think there are many 25% chances in the game. But yeah, I think if you hit 4 people with this, the fact that one of them in average will be stunned is just crazy. Sun Slash. This we know. Attacks a single target, then heals. Okay, so I can imagine Sun Slash, instant transfer, and what else? An Air Slash? Yeah, that sounds brutal, right? So Air Slash, instant transfer to make sure that you survive the turn, then Sun Slash to heal back up to full. That is just perfect. Stunning with the cooldown reduction. Yep. Bruh. So this is 3 rounds. I want everyone to remember that 3 rounds is not 5, and 3 rounds means that it's a joke ability. So you use this, it has a 3. You use the base ability, it then becomes a 1. So in 1 turn you can leave your AoE stun back to 1 turn cooldown. Just pointing out the craziness of Leonhardt. So on this side, Sun Slash, got it. Deathmatch. When entering battle, units attack and skill increase by 12%. Magic and defense decrease by 7%. Okay. So it is crazy, but I don't think, compared to everything else that he has, that is crazy enough to warrant putting it in. The other passives are just much better, right? So there was the base ability, that's actually only 1. This is not really a passive. It even deals damage, that's just crazy. And then we go back here. And the other option for 1 was instant transfer, which is also insane. Okay, so I guess we can ignore this. And now, Fusion Dark Emperor Sword! Ha! These names, I love it. Sometimes I wish they had kept this in Japanese, right? It's probably gonna be like a, I don't know, a much cooler name than Fusion Dark Emperor Sword. Alright, deals 0.3 AoE. Very decent number. Most major AoE is like this, except melee units have way higher attack than intellect in mages. Deals this damage to all enemies within 2 blocks and dispels 2 buffs. Is this span to ring? Range self. Span to ring. Oh, so the fact that it says to ring means that it's all 8 squares around him, and then the other, whatever that amount is probably close to 14. I'm gonna go with 14. Why such an edgelord name? We had to have an edgelord character, right? There's so many waifus that someone has to be the dark person. Yeah, so can anyone help me? It's 8, right? And then that makes it a 3x3. Then it's 5, 5, 3, 3. That is actually 16 hexes. Cool. And it's not hexes, it's squares. Okay, so this has an insane range, so it works in 2 diagonals within 2 blocks and dispels 2 buffs. Good, it can be used after a faction buff. At the same time, affected enemies cannot receive act again effects. I cannot tell you for the longest of time the amount of people that are gonna chivalry Leon after getting hit with Leonhardt because he's now alone, and chivalry ends the turn. And that's gonna be so much fun. This is great for farming Goblin. Yes, it's gonna be amazing. Once I level him up, I'm gonna replace one of my permanent people in Goblins. For Leonhardt, he's just gonna go around, shoot at stuff, and get them all killed. Okay, so what am I going to do? I am very likely to go for both paths. I have reserved the extra stones for this. I am going to end up in Asura, and I'm going to be equipping this bestiality of an attack, this stun bestiality as well, and then keep the base ability because it's gonna be used to reduce the cooldown of all those other things. I am only planning to use this blah 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 Emperor Sword attack when I know I can ruin someone's day, right? So if a Luna is unupgraded, so without Wind Spiral, if of course there's a Leon that has chivalry still not used, then this is gonna be used, because 6 turns cooldown means you're never gonna see it again in combat. The match is most likely going to end before that. Or if I see that it's a great opening mechanism, right? So if I somehow can manage to squeeze in that direction and open with this, starting to reduce the cooldowns, especially with the other ability that actually has 2 turns cooldown instead of 3, could be the way to work with Leonhardt. So that's what I'm going to do. Let's see, is there any other ability that's worth the 2 points? No. Maybe Air Slash? I really don't see that happening. I mean, I could go like AoE, the other AoE, then Air Slash, and then everything has 1 turn cooldown, and that's just horrible. Yep, that's actually actively horrible. Okay, what else is there? No, that's it. So I'm gonna be using 3 active skills, and then just keeping him in Asura with the other cavalry. I assume the Act Again blocks works against enemy Leonhardts. That is also very, very true. And cherries. So, and I think the best part is that their abilities go on cooldown. So that's really strong. All right. You know what? For the pleasure of everyone, I have saved up a few potions from doing the dailies. Is it enough? Is it enough? Is it enough? I don't know. What do you guys think? Will this be enough? We can do this, we can do this. Gotta save them. Go slow. There we go. That's a level 60 Leonhardt out of nowhere. Let's see how far we can advance. I even reserved some guild points. And go up is a witness that I've been doing my participation. That was satisfying to watch. Thank you, very fun. Okay, what are we gonna do? I guess we start with Swordsman, so that we don't even need to change at the end. Still, I remind everyone, there is a long way before I can use this Leonhardt. I still don't have all the bonds. I still don't have the Gates of Fate unlocked. It's gonna take a while. But let's see, maybe we can sneak in a few upgrades. Go beyond the realm of the Asura. And maybe we get to see how these abilities start to stack. Okay, we're already in trouble. Survival and battle practice. He's not saying it's a change lord. What do we say? Survival and battle practice. There we go. Oh yeah, great news! This particular material has been upgraded to a maximum of 20. That is so cool! 20 is the best. Usually the reason why we ran out of this particular material is because you need this for the 4 last upgrade and for the last upgrade. And you needed 40 of each in total. That means to upgrade 1 character in a week, you had to use 8 of your charges already. So now with 20 we can go way further. Okay. We advance, we detect. Fighting skills, shield scroll. Fighting... Nope. Fighting... Nope. Shield scroll. Rock Golem, and then Crest of Fearlessness. And here we go. Nice. Alright, and just like that, he's now a tier 3 class with crazy power and SSR 20 equipment, of course. And I think I'm going to stay here, mainly because the looks are just amazing. Come on, look at that scarf. How cool can this person be? Instant. Wait, is the name really instant? Instant transfer. Okay, that makes sense. Do you remember, guys, the bag when you unlock Joshua's skill that it says the most powerful skill, the. So we bring here. Actually, it's not really like we want this, but we don't have any choice. Asura looks so shit. There is this, but this costs 272 euros. That is a little bit too much to me. I don't think I'm in conditions to pay for that. So we're gonna retain his Edge Lord looks. Blade Lord. Is that Nightmare? I think it's called Nightmare. Just Dark Knight. And oh god, that's terrible. This not a difference between all the different. Fair enough. All right. So that will be it for Leonhardt. And before I go on to Rene, I want to show one thing that is just amazing, and that is this absolutely stunning leaden visual. I think this is one of the best skins I've seen in the game. Normal skin looks better than Echo, that is true. But this is why they put this in the same Echo. This skin is so cool, and if there's ever any time where you have thought maybe I can do that stretch mark of reaching 272, this one is it. Sadly for me, I cannot afford that. So I'll see you next time, beautiful lady. Goodbye. Alright, let's see. It is time now to speak about Rene. So you know what, I think I'm gonna make a separate video because we have spoken a lot about Leonhardt and people would need to find where this middle point is. So I will be back in 1 second.